Hello class, this is Math 130. Welcome everybody. Okay, so for objective 1, we are adding and subtracting real numbers, okay? And for this, by all means, you are allowed to use your calculator. So I'm just going to kind of go through some of that with you guys. And if you have a calculator that you're not sure how to work, make sure that you ask me. I would like to give you guys a calculator test soon. So keep an eye out for that, as well as keep an eye out for a pre-test. I want to give you guys a pre-test to kind of see, what all you remember. So keep an eye out for that. Those will be on WebAssign. So let's jump into this. So for part 1, we're going to look at adding real numbers. All right. So we have negative 12 plus negative 26. Okay. So in our calculator, we can, on mine, this is the negative sign. So I can put that negative sign to get negative 12. And I can do a plus sign. Oh, wait a minute. A plus sign. Then I can do parentheses, another negative sign, 26, and close the parentheses, okay? So most Casios, you can input the information to look exactly how it will look on paper. So this is my preferred calculator. You can also use Texas Instruments as well. So it's really up to you. So here I can just hit equals and get that my answer is negative 38. So for this first one, when you add a negative number, that is also another way to subtract. So we will talk about that a little bit more when we get into subtracting real numbers. But in your calculator, try to make sure that you put those parentheses around that negative number, because the way the calculator works, everything has to be in a certain order so that it can properly calculate for you, okay? So for number 2, we got negative 19 plus 8. And if you guys said negative 11, you got it correct. So those were pretty simple. Let's look at number 3. So for number 3, you can type it all in the calculator if you know how, or you can break it down into parts. So here where we have the negative 23 plus 47 plus negative 18 plus negative 10, we can do these two first. So if we put that in our calculator, we will have negative 23 plus 47, which equals 24. So we'll have 24, and then we'll bring everything else down. So we'll bring the plus negative 18 down and the plus negative 10. All right. So one thing I want you guys to notice, we have negative 18 plus negative 10. If we added those together, what is that answer? Go ahead and put that in the comments. So this is just a side note. What is negative 18 plus negative 10? So we can keep going from left to right as we started out doing. So we can do 24 plus negative 18. So in your calculator, you should already have the 24 in there. So all you have to do is do plus, open parentheses, negative sign, 18, close parentheses. All right. So it has the 24 saved in there. And then we have our plus and our open parentheses, negative 18, close parentheses. All right. Then we get 6. So this is 6, and we bring down our plus negative 10. All right. So if you said that negative 18 plus negative 10 is negative 28, you are correct. All right. So that was just a little side note. So now that we have 6 plus negative 10, we have that 6 in there already. So we can keep that in there as our answer. And all we have to do is plus, open parentheses, negative 10, and close parentheses. And we get our answer as negative 4. Now let's look at subtraction. And what you will find out is that addition and subtraction are really similar. So let's look at this first one. We have 8 minus 3, which if we do that in our head or put it in our calculator, we'll get positive 5, okay? So if we look at 8 plus negative 3, if we do that in our head or put it in our calculator, we will get the same answer, okay? So basically what this means is when we add a negative number, it's basically the same thing as subtraction, okay? And when you see subtraction, you can think about it as you're adding this negative number to the 8, okay? So if that helps you think about it in a different way, maybe you didn't fully understand it and that kind of, help you understand it a little bit, then that's a different way to look at it, okay? So let's look at number 2. We have negative 12 minus negative 21 minus 15, all right? So with number 2, what I want you to pay attention to is what happens when you minus a negative or when you subtract a negative. So when you subtract a negative, these 2 negative signs turn into a plus sign. So you can rewrite it negative 12 plus 21 minus 15, okay? Of course, you can type it in your calculator like that, but you may or may not, mistake the subtraction sign and the negative sign and could possibly get something wrong. So before you put it into your calculator, because you know that when you subtract a negative, it becomes a plus sign, you can go ahead and do that, write that step out, and then you can just put negative 12 plus 21 minus 15 in the calculator and get your answer, which is negative 6. Okay, so for number 3, you should have gotten negative 8 minus 7 equals negative 15. All right, let's look at a few more. Number 4, we have negative 21 minus negative 40. So here we see that negative and negative again. So that means we can rewrite this as negative 21 plus 40. Okay, so for number 4, you should have negative 21 plus 40, which is negative 19. Oh, positive 19. I'm looking at positive 19 and saying the wrong thing. So it's positive 19, all right? So for number 5, we have 15 minus 51. So let's put that in our calculator. 15 minus 51. And we get negative 36. Okay? So that is how we subtract real numbers. All right? So you can look at subtraction as adding a negative. All right? And you need to also remember that when you're subtracting a negative, that turns into a plus sign. So let's look at some more addition problems. And you guys make sure you put these in your calculator along with me. Is negative 91. All right, so that's the answer to number 1. All right, for number 2, you should have 57. For number 3, we have 3 numbers, so we're going to do the same thing we've been doing. I'm going to type in 37, do my plus sign, do my parentheses, negative 52, close my parentheses, very important. Do another plus sign, open my parentheses, negative 14, and close my parentheses. So as you see, it looks just like it does on the board. I'm going to hit enter, and I get negative 29. If you don't put it all in your calculator at one time, you can do 37 plus negative 52 to get negative 15, and you can bring that plus negative 14 down, and you'll still get negative 29. And this is like the one that I asked you guys about, where we have negative 15 plus negative 14. It's basically like your bank account is already in the negative and you're adding more negative to it. So you'll take that 15 and that 14, add them together, and you'll have negative 29. All right? So for number 4, we have 4 terms. Okay? So let's put these in our calculator. So we have negative 51 plus 42 plus 17 plus negative 102. All right. So let's see who all got this one. The answer to number 4 is negative 94. Let's look at number 5. Negative 23 plus 11 is negative 12. And negative 8 plus 7 is negative 1. All right. And for this last one on this board, number 7, let's do it together. We have a lot to put in the calculator. So we're going to put in our negative 14. Going to do minus 18 minus, and we can do parentheses and a negative 21, or we can do, remember, plus 21. All right. So I'm going to do it like this, and I'm going to do the plus 21 to show you that you get the same answer. Okay. So this looks like our original, right? So I'm going to hit enter, and we get negative 15. All right. So now I'm going to redo this, and I'm going to put plus 21. All right. So we have negative 14 minus 18 plus 21 minus 4. All right. And what do we get? We get negative 15. Okay. So that kind of goes to show you how when you subtract the negative, it is indeed the same thing as addition. Okay. So let's look at a few more. I'm pretty sure I told y'all, but if I did not, you do have to submit your class notes. So all of this information that you're writing down, make sure that you're paying attention so that you're getting everything so that you can submit your notes in Blackboard. So this is objective 1. So you will take pictures of this work and submit it in Blackboard in the objective 1 notes section. And you want to make sure that you have the proper heading in the top right corner of your paper so that I can know, which page is which and all of that. And you need to make sure that you're uploading this as JPEG pictures. So for number 8, we have negative 9. Let me move this out of the way so you guys can see 9, 10, 11, and 12. So we have negative 9. And because we have that minus negative 12, I'm going to do plus 12. And then we have minus 17, so I'm going to do minus 17. Then I'm going to do minus 4. Okay. So I have number 8 typed in. And when I hit enter, number 8 equals negative 18. All right, so for 9, 10, 11, and 12, you should have negative 13, 1, 11, and 6. Okay. So let's do the last 3 together to make sure that everybody has got it. All right, so for number 13, we have negative 19. And then look, we have minus negative 19. So we can add 19. Or you can type it in just like this. You can hit that negative sign, do an open parentheses, do a negative 19, and then close the parentheses, okay? Then we can do minus 18, okay? So for this one, our answer is negative 18. All right, let's look at the next one. Let's clear this out. We have negative 17. Then we're subtracting a negative, so we can do plus 8. Plus 8. Then we are subtracting another negative, so we can do plus 9. All right. And we get 0. Okay. If you are in doubt about that, then let's put those parentheses and all of that in and just make sure. So we have our negative 17 minus open parentheses negative 8, close parentheses, minus open parentheses negative 9, close parentheses. Okay, so as you can see, that was a lot typing all that in. So if you just remember that when you subtract a negative, you get 8. Well, if you subtract the negative, is plus 8. And if you subtract the negative, is plus 9. That will kind of help you when you're trying to enter everything into the calculator. So let's hit enter. And we got 0 again. So the answer is 0. Okay. So in my calculator, I put 7 minus 8 plus 1. Because I know that when I subtract a negative 1, it's the same thing as adding 1. I'm going to hit my enter sign, and I got 0 again. So now, if you guys have not signed up for WebAssign, your homework, some practice problems, and some homework problems are in WebAssign right now, waiting for you to do them. So the practice problems, those go toward your participation grade along with the copy of your notes that you submit. And that's how I know that you are indeed watching the videos alert and attentive, because you're taking notes and you're practicing your problems before you do the homework. So it shouldn't be, you know, any bad homework grades, because you have the opportunity to kind of practice before you do all of your homework. Okay, so make sure that you get into WebAssign. If you have a question about anything, make sure that you text me or email me. And make sure you also keep an eye out in WebAssign for the pre-test. The calculator test will be on Blackboard. Okay, so I hope you guys have an awesome rest of the day. Make sure that you are putting in time to fully understand this material, because we are moving pretty fast. So make sure that you get this down. Let me know if you have a question. With the WebAssign, the due dates are set now. If you need an extension, do not click on I need an extension. Send me a message or email and let me know, what's going on. I'll only give an extension if you talk to me directly. All right. So y'all have an awesome day.